Have you heard of Bargello? The name didn't ring my bell, but now you see it, and like me, maybe you know. This embroidery technique was super popular in the 70s in many groovy combinations. Well, it's making a comeback, wouldn't you know, with fresh palettes and updated patterns. Artist and author Amy Latta says it's a good project for someone who wants to dabble in the art of needlework. Hey, Miss Amy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brooke?
I'm good, and I'm giggling because I didn't recognize the name, but the second I saw what it was, I was like, oh, yes, child of the 80s. I know what that is, so it's back?
It is, and as a fellow child of the 80s, I couldn't be more excited.
So give us a lesson, and first, I guess, a definition. What is Bargello?
Sure. So Bargello is just the particular style of needlepoint. There's all kinds of needlepoint, like counter cross stitch and other types of embroidery, but this one is super simple. The whole thing is made up of straight vertical stitches. They're just designed in a pattern that creates something geometric. So we get something like the chevron or like these scoops, or you can get really fancy like these diamonds. But it's basically just this one type of stitch that's combined in such a way that you get a really colorful, cool geometric pattern.
That is cool. What do we need to tackle this technique? What's our supply list?
So first, you're going to need some type of canvas. And typically, this is done on either plastic canvas, which is what I have here from my trusty Walmart, or you can also get a needlepoint canvas if you want something that's more like fabric and flexible. You can make all kinds of things with this. Like I saw a pin cushion online and things like that. So if you want something you can sew, you can get that needlepoint canvas. But I like working with the plastic canvas. And then you're going to need your fibers. So typically, traditionally, Bargello is done with the tapestry wool, but that's a little bit more of a specialty type item. So if you can't find tapestry wool or you don't have that local to you, you can just use yarn. I just have balls of yarn here, and that works just fine on the plastic canvas.
Okay.
You'll also need a tapestry needle, which is the kind with the big hole in it and a more blunt tip, but it's so that your yarn fits through that needle.
And you say just one stitch. Can you show us that? I know it's detailed work. We'll lean in.
So all you have to do is, you can see this plastic canvas is like a grid. So you've got all these little boxes, and all you do is you come up from the back of your canvas, and then you're going to find a box that's in that same vertical row.
Vertical, okay.
And you're just going to make a vertical stitch. So that's a nice big one for you. And like I said, all you're doing is the same vertical stitch over and over again.
In smaller scale, you're going larger size for our demo purposes.
That's right. But if you were making a big tapestry for the wall, you might make one that's large like this.
Okay.
So my project was bookmarks. So my biggest one skipped like 5 boxes. But depending on your pattern and what you're creating, you can make these stitches as large or small as you need them to be.
And then you come back up and loop down one square?
So you loop however many squares the pattern tells you to do.
Okay.
But they're just going to be in a row right next to each other. And sometimes like the next stitch might be a little bit lower so that you get like that zigzag pattern. So maybe I'll start down here on the next row and come up to here, but it's still going to be that vertical stitch. And that's what starts to move your design, if that makes sense.
Got you. Well explained through the Zoom. You're impressive, lady. And the bookmark is a good beginner project to start with?
Yes, these are so simple because, first of all, they're small. And the other thing I love is that these supplies cost virtually nothing. Like I got this pack of plastic canvas, a whole bunch of sheets for like $3. So just yarn and plastic canvas and some scissors, and you are set.
Well, you are hooking us up in more than one way. You're sharing patterns with us today for those bookmarks.
I am, because I was kind of teaching myself how to do this again. I mean, I did some of it as a kid, but I wanted to refresh my memory. And so I was looking on Pinterest, and there's all these really cool things, but no one was giving you a pattern to tell you how to make the cool things. So I came up with a pattern for each of these 3 bookmarks, and it's free to download, and it shows you exactly how many squares you need, how to trim your plastic canvas, and how to create this chevron pattern, this scoop pattern, and my Darling Diamonds pattern here. So you can pick which one you like, or preferably all 3, because they're all equally fun. And you can just print that out and follow it to create your own bookmark just like mine.
Those patterns available, Amy, on your website? I'm going to try this with my girls.
Yes, it's amylattacreations.com. You find them right there.
Okay, we'll link you over from our website. Thank you for the bring back and thanks for showing it off so well.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Have a good day, Amy.